So how do you see the division between DalitBahujan intellectuals and the so-called secular Marxist progressive intellectuals in various issues, such as starting from Mandal and Lokpal, and Lokpal in the sense Anna Hazare movement, where they were supporting it, and the recent Ambedkar cartoon controversy?
See, the upper caste, secular, democratic, liberal, nationalist intellectuals never had a categorical stand, first on abolition of caste. They never had a categorical stand on universal egalitarian English medium education for all. They never had a categorical stand on the SC, OBC minorities who did not have a representation in higher education, in school education, in middle range of education, to get their proportional share in all of them, including the private sector and the industry. Now, see their role. Let us go to 1990 Mandal period, when the anti-Mandal agitators, who actually came from the upper caste families, some of them were the Hindutva people, some of them were seculars, Democrats, their own family members, when they started attacking us, we were very few people who were defending ourselves. You can go to Economic and Political Weekly. None of these people wrote a major critical assessment of the upper caste consciousness, manipulations, and their control on education. See, in 1990, somewhere September, I wrote this article in Economic Political Weekly called Reservations Experience as Framework of Debate. We in Hyderabad formed a group along with the Sri Shakti at that time, Suji Taru, me and some of other friends. Then Gail Ombed wrote another article. Then in Illustrated Weekly there was an article written by Suji Taru and a group of people. Perhaps the only intellectual who took a stand along with us, who came from the Brahmin family at that time, was Balu. But none of these people who are now talking about the secular, democratic, socialist, ideological transformation, including the communists, they have not written anything substantial opposing the anti-Mandal forces, supporting the Mandal forces in any major theoretical debate. Number two, what is their role in implementing Mandal reservation law? We fought the battle. It was a battle of SC, OBCs in the streets, in the parliament. The universities were totally against them. Today they are talking that universities should not, parliament should not scrutinize their intellectual work. But it was parliament which had to take a decision about implementing Mandal reservation. It was not the universities. These universities were opposing reservation till today. They are opposing reservation till today. And all these intellectuals who are now talking about the greatness of critical pedagogy, cartoon pedagogy, Dalits being represented in that pedagogy, they have no stand on serious implementation of reservation in the institutions where they are existing. So, from Mandal to Mandal 2 phase, 2007, they had no serious role. Left communist parties, left and democratic parties did not take a major role. That is one of the reasons why the Dalits don't trust them even in the electoral field. That is the reason why the communist parties became weak now, because when there is no trust among the intellectuals, when we talk about it, that trust-less, situation also gets into the rural mass. So the left democratic secular people, what they are talking as pro OBC, pro SC, they are not. For example, secularism. What is their understanding of secularism? Secularism means for them that Hindus, that is Hindu upper caste, Muslim elite, Christian elite, without interfering with each other's religious practices, they should coexist in institutions. Now this is a dangerous theory of secularism. What is anti-secular in India? Anti-secular in India is that the untouchable, the shoemaker, the pot maker, the road sweeper, and the Brahmin, they cannot sit together, cannot eat together, cannot live together, cannot work in the job in the same manner, at the same pedestal. Secularism means untouchable and Brahmin living as equals in every sphere. In the temple, in the religious, in the educational institutions, in the universities, not a single one, any one of these secularists wrote a single article that untouchability is anti-secular. Temple untouchability is anti-secular. There should be secularism of Brahmins and SC/ST OBCs. They are talking about secularism of Muslims, Christians and Hindus, because they are all upper caste, they are elite, they are feudals, they are now Caste. So they never had a categorical stand historically on the real Ambedkarism. The real Ambedkarism is dismantling of Hinduism. The real Ambedkarism is Dalits coming to power, OBCs coming to power, women coming to power, and the Brahminic forces getting out of the power. And educational institutions becoming democratically equal. One of the ways through which these people can come into that educational institutions is reservations. And they don't want reservations where they exist. They don't want reservations in Hindu temples. If you think that Hinduism is... See, what is the difference between you and Hindu people? Between you and BJP people? BJP people don't ask for reservations in temples. They ask for equality at vote place. They establish Dalit morchas, Dalit organizations within the party. And you also don't ask for reservations in Hindu temples that let every Dalit become a priest in the temple if he is a Hindu. You don't ask. But the moment they become Christians, the moment they become Buddhists, the moment they become Muslims, you say that the conversions are becoming dangerous. So you don't give equality here. The intellectual does not speak about equality in religion, but if somebody converts, they become very worried about this whole conversion politics. After all, conversion is also political. Religion is political. Religion is liberative. Religion is spiritual liberative. So they don't have a stand. They don't have a stand on reservation, they don't have a stand on religion, they don't have a stand on, say for example, English medium education. What is the way to remove reservation in this country? All children should be able to study the NCERT books which whatever intellectual group prepared. Now let us assume that without these cartoons, these books are good standard books. Now should they be studied by all children or not? Why are they presuming that these English medium books should not be studied by Adivasi children, Dalit children, OBC children and minority children? they wrote these books keeping the urban, upper caste, upper middle English medium students. How can you write books like that? Because these books, once you are writing standard textbooks, is it not your responsibility, duty to demand that they should be taught for all children? And is it not your responsibility to think that when you are writing for all children, their consciousness and their sensitivities must reflect in all books? Now, if you wrote books in English medium like this, is it not your responsibility to ask that this same English medium best class book which I wrote for 11th class, all children should be studying in English medium and studying this book which we wrote as one of the best textbooks in English medium? Now, if you are for that, why are you criticizing the Tamil movement against Hindi? So that means you wrote this book for North Indian upper caste English medium children. Is this good? What kind of secularism is it? Are you secular in terms of Aryan and Dravidian? Are you secular? Did any one of these intellectuals ask a simple question if they are secular? That cow has been incorporated in the constitutional provision, directive principles of state policy for protection. We have been asking that India lives with buffalo milk, and buffalo is the blackest animal, which is the most beautiful animal. For us, black is beautiful. Did they ask that at least if cow is not removed from the directive principles of constitution, buffalo should also be included along with cow? Did Yogendra Yadav write an article on this? Did Aditya Nigam write? Did Partha Chatterjee write an article? Did Nivedita Menon write an article on this? That cow and buffalo should have equal status in the constitution. Now, what is cow? What does cow represent? Cow represents whiteness. Cow represents Aryanness. Cow represents Hindu sacredness. Cow represents Hindu Gomata. Cow represents Hindu Kamadeva. What about that buffalo? Buffalo represents Dalit sacredness. Buffalo represents, Dravidian spirituality. Buffalo represents Dravidian beauty. Buffalo represents Dravidian economy. Buffalo represents Dravidian history and ideology. So did any one of the animal protectors, secular, democratic, ask that no, we have committed a mistake by including only cow in the constitution? Today, the data shows that 10 times buffaloes get killed, their meat gets exported to other countries. Now cows are saved on many priorities, whereas the buffalo, which gives 75% of our milk, is getting killed. Now you don't have a stand on food culture. If Brahmins are saying vegetarianism is sacred, gods love vegetarianism, did any one of these people take a stand? I know Nivedita Menon took a stand, but did any one of them write a major article that no, all people's food cultures are divine, spiritually valid? They did not. So they are being exposed one after the other as anti-Dalit, anti-OBC, anti-women too. It is our ancestral thinkers who have man-woman equality ideology very strong. Much better than Raja Ram Mohan Rai, much better than Dayanand Saraswati, whether it was Buddha, whether it was Pule, whether it was Basava. They don't have any sensible examination of these people. So, on all these parameters, they are proving to be Castist. They are proving to be Aryan by nature. They are proving to be upper caste by intellectual consciousness. they are proving to be